Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is David and we are continuing our 2023 library tour with 10 books off my shelf. I've got them organized by kind of the mass market size of paperbacks, then trade paperbacks, then hardcovers, then graphic novels. And so I decided to go through 10 at a time and just kind of talk about them. If there's anything I can talk about, read the back cover. To give a sense of an idea of what's in there, and to also help me make snap decisions as I'm going through on whether or not the book is going to merit staying around long enough to be read, because I've got plenty of books that I could read, and there's plenty of these that I got in a handful of eBay lots that contained 30, 40, 50 books, where I may have been looking at one or two in particular that really caught my eye. And I've just never really taken the time to look into those. I don't think I'm going to have any of that today, because this is going to be almost exclusively Isaac Asimov, because I have them sorted alphabetically by author. And as you'll find out in part 3, Asimov will also take up about half of the next 10 after this. So we have plenty of Asimov to read through, and I've read a decent number of them so far, but there's still plenty that I haven't read yet. And this might also help me determine the order in which I want to tackle these. But before we get to the Asimov, we are starting with another Penguin classic here. This is The Voyage of Argo by Apollonius of Rhodes. So this is translated by Evie Ryu. It says, the Argonautica of Apollonius is the only full remaining account of Jason's voyage in the quest of the Golden Fleece. Written in the 3rd century BC, it met with derision in the poet's native city, Alexandria, and the second version was first acclaimed by the Rhodians before its more widespread success. Though Apollonius used the manner and matter of epic, he wrote from a personal viewpoint, as a critical observer. His understanding of human nature, his unerring eye for dramatic moment, and his quiet sense of humor give reality and spirit to this fantastic story of high romance and incredible adventure. That sounds really, really good. And there are plenty of ancient epics and major works of literature I have not read yet, and that is the case with this one. Next we have, I'm pretty sure this is one that came from Michael K. Vaughan, so it's not leaving until I've read it at the very least. And this is Gulliver of Mars. It says, a long-lost classic of Martian adventure by Edwin L. Arnold. Complete and unabridged, so that's always good. Lieutenant Gulliver Jones, USN, arrived on Mars in the most unexpected fashion and promptly found himself head over heels in adventure. For Mars was a planet of ruined cities, ancient peoples, copper-skinned swordsmen, and weird and awesome monsters. There was a princess to be rescued, a river of death to be navigated, and a strange prophecy to be fulfilled. Here is a long-lost classic of interplanetary adventure which some science fiction experts think may have helped inspire the immortal Edgar Rice Burroughs. Though by no means a Burroughs novel, everyone who has ever enjoyed a novel of Barsoom will find Edwin L. Arnold's Gulliver of Mars a special reading delight. I'm surprised this wasn't like pick one in Roger's Cheap Old Book Club. Needless to say, I'm probably reading this pretty soon. That sounds really good, and I'm really enjoying the Barsoom series. So why not? This is not that long, 224, but these are short. This is shorter than standard, but it also has pretty small print in there. So I am looking forward to that now. I might have to bump that one up. Next, we have a novel that needs very little introduction. This is Foundation by Asimov. This is the first of the original trilogy of the Foundation novels. And the mass market paperback that you've probably seen copies of around in stores for decades, maybe years at least. I know I've seen this particular set of novels many, many, many times. For 12,000 years, the Galactic Empire has ruled supreme. Now it is dying. Only Harry Seldon, creator of the revolutionary science of psychohistory, can see into the future. A dark age of ignorance, barbarism, and warfare that will last 30,000 years. To preserve knowledge and save mankind, Seldon gathers the best minds in the Empire, both scientists and scholars, and brings them to a bleak planet on the edge of the galaxy to serve as a beacon of hope for future generations. He calls his sanctuary the Foundation. But soon the fledgling Foundation finds itself at the mercy of corrupt warlords rising in the wake of the receding Empire, and mankind's last best hope is faced with an agonizing choice. Submit to the barbarians and live as slaves, or take a stand for freedom and risk total destruction. If you have never read Foundation, I strongly recommend it. It is not my favorite science fiction novel. It's probably not even my favorite Isaac Asimov novel. But this trilogy, which makes up Foundation and Empire, and Second Foundation, are fantastic. Barnes & Noble sells a leather-bound edition with the 3 novels. I believe they still have it, because I think I saw it over the holiday season when I was in there and not able to buy books for myself. But, and that is probably the edition I'd like to have. That or getting this to match these, because I do kind of like these covers a lot more than this one. Either or, I'd be happy with. But I do want to get the rest of the Foundation series, because there's 2 prequels and then 2 sequels after this trilogy, I believe. Not counting the ones that have been written after the fact by other people. It's an enjoyable series. Definitely recommend it. Next we have The Caves of Steel. This is one I need to read this. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I wanted to read it last year. I didn't get to it. I will be reading it this year. A millennium into the future, 2 advancements have altered the course of human history: the colonization of the galaxy and the creation of the positronic brain. Isaac Asimov's robot novels chronicle the unlikely partnership between a New York City detective and a humanoid robot who must learn to work together. Like most people left behind on an overpopulated Earth, New York City Police Detective Elijah Bailey had little love for either the arrogant spacers or their robotic companions. But when a prominent spacer is murdered under mysterious circumstances, Bailey is ordered to the outer worlds to help track down the killer. The relationship between Elijah and his spacer superiors, who distrusted all Earthmen, was strained from the start. Then he learned that they had assigned him a partner, R. Daniil Olivau. Worst of all was that R stood for robot, and his positronic partner was made in the image and likeness of the murder victim. I hear fantastic things about this. And not only do I have this, but I have Robots of Dawn, which is the 3rd book, I believe. Yeah, so The Naked Sun is the 2nd book. I don't have The Naked Sun. That will become a problem if I read Caves of Steel and like it. I can't read Robots of Dawn. I'll be at a stopping point. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I have Robots of Dawn. And then the exciting sequel to Robots of Dawn. So this is Robots in Empire. It stars Elijah Bailey's robot partner, R. Daniel Oliva. I'm not going to read the backs of those, just like I skipped on the sequels for the Foundation, because I don't want to give any spoilers. I know people are really sensitive to that. And since they're follow-up books in a series, I'm not going to read them. Needless to say, if the first one, you enjoy it, you're probably going to want to read the rest of them. So we've got 2 more here. So this is different. It's Robot Vision. So this is 36 magnificent stories and essays about his most beloved creations, the robots. So it says, from Robbie to R. Daniil Oliva. Here, from the writer whose name is synonymous with robots and the science of robotics, are 5 decades of robot visions gathered together in one volume. These 36 landmark short stories and essays include 3 never-before collected stories, Too Bad, Christmas Without Rodney, and Robot Visions, which was created specifically for this book. And you will meet all of Isaac Asimov's technological children, from Robbie, the very first robot that Asimov's imagination brought to life, to Susan Calvin, the original robot psychologist, Stephen Byerly, the humanoid robot, and the famous human-robot detective team of Elijah Bailey and R. Daniel Oliva, the stars of so many best-selling novels. Let the master himself be your guide as you explore the key moments of the fictional history of robot-human relations, from the most primitive computers and mobile machines to the first robot to become a man. And you will see these robot visions skillfully captured in illustrations by Academy Award winner Ralph McQuarrie, production designer of Star Wars. There is a chance that I will get to this semi-soon-ish. I'll be hopefully quarterly this year, reading through a short story collection, a story a day, alongside Greg from Another Bibliophile reads, and this may be on my short list of ones that I propose to him when it's my turn to pick for the second quarter. It's a big one, but I think it'll be really fun if we do that one. And then we have another tour double. So this has got Asimov, the ugly little boy. And on the other side, we have Theodore Sturgeon, the Widget and Wadget and Buff. So we'll start with the Sturgeon one. Since it is now my intention to prefer charges against my partner teammate Smith and to use these notes as a formal document in the matter, I shall now summarize in detail the particulars of the case. We have been on Earth on expression of time units on a field expedition to determine whether or not the dominant species here possesses the synapse known to our catalog as Beta Sub-16, the master computer at home having concluded that without the synapse, this Earth culture must become extinct. On arrival, we set up the usual detectors, expecting to get our information in an expression of very short time unit or so. But to our great astonishment, the readings on the Kickshaw and Gimmick and the high-sensitivity Snivy were mixed. It appears that this culture possessed the synapse but did not use it. I submit that Smith is guilty of carelessness and unethical conduct. I see no solution but to destroy this specimen and perhaps the others. I declare that this situation has arisen because Smith ignored my clearly stated warning. As I write, this alerted, frightened specimen stands ready to commit violence on our equipment and thereby itself. I hereby serve notice on Smith that he got us into this and he can well get us out. Let's see, it's got it blanked. So that's the Widget and the Wadget and Buff by Sturgeon. And for the ugly little boy, she hurried to Timmy, who clung to her, curling his little bandy legs, still thin, so thin about her. Hoskins watched them and then said gravely, "He seems quite unhappy." Miss Fellow said, "I don't blame him. They're at him every day now with their blood samples and their probings. They keep him on synthetic diets that I wouldn't feed a pig. It's the sort of thing they can't try on a human, you know. They can't try it on Timmy either. After he's had a bad session with them, he has nightmares. He can't sleep. Now I warn you." She reached a sudden peak of fury. "I'm not letting them in here anymore." So there's the ugly little boy. It says, "What is the price of one boy's life?" Really, really good cover there. Tor did a good job on the both these covers. So there you have it, the next 10 in my library tour. That's going to take many, many videos. I'm probably not going to finish it this year. We'll see. We'll try to make a push to get through them all before the end of 2023. Making them as I go. And I've got more videos that I'm planning on trying to get to tonight. So stay tuned. This weekend I am probably going to do what Steve Donahue did last weekend. And try to do some makeup filming. To get caught up on all the things I've been wanting to talk about, but just haven't had a chance to do so. So, thank you, BookTube. Have a great day.